The world of football has witnessed many greats, but few embodied the spirit of dedication, discipline, and leadership as much as Gary Speed. As a footballer, he was admired not only for his technical skill and versatility on the pitch, but also for his unwavering professionalism and the respect he commanded from teammates and fans alike. As a manager, he inspired hope, particularly for the future of Welsh football. But behind the public persona of confidence and resilience, there were unseen struggles, battles fought in solitude, and emotions hidden from even those closest to him. The tragedy of Gary Speed's untimely passing on the 27th of November 2011 remains one of the most shocking moments in football history. His death stunned the footballing world, leaving behind an enduring mystery of what could have driven such a seemingly strong and successful man to take his own life. Years later, a haunting revelation. A secret letter written by Speed when he was just 17 shed new light on the internal turmoil he had been grappling with for decades. To understand Gary Speed's story, we must go back to the beginning and retrace the journey of a man who achieved so much, yet carried a burden so heavy that it ultimately led to his tragic demise. Born on September 8, 1969 in Mancot, Wales, Gary Andrew Speed grew up in a loving household, raised by his parents, Roger and Carol. Football was his greatest passion from a young age. He idolized footballing greats, and his dream was to one day play professionally. He had the talent, the work ethic, and the right attitude, qualities that would later make him one of the most respected figures in the sport. Speed's footballing journey began when he joined the Leeds United Youth Academy as a teenager. Even at that stage, his dedication was unmatched. Coaches and teammates were quick to recognize his ability and mental toughness. He was strong, agile, and possessed a remarkable understanding of the game. In 1988, at just 19 years old, Speed made his debut for Leeds United, where he played a crucial role in their 1991-92 First Division winning campaign. He formed part of a formidable midfield alongside Gary McAllister, Gordon Strachan, and David Batty. His ability to play in multiple positions made him an invaluable asset, and fans adored his work rate and commitment. Speed's football career spanned over 2 decades, during which he played for some of England's biggest clubs, including Leeds United 1988 to 1996, Everton 1996 to 1998, Newcastle United 1998 to 2004, Bolton Wanderers 2004 to 2008, Sheffield United 2008 to 2010. Beyond club football, Speed represented Wales 85 times, becoming a national hero. His professionalism and leadership qualities saw him take up the captaincy for Wales, and later he went on to manage the national team, instilling a sense of belief and optimism in Welsh football. Everything about Speed's career suggested that he was a man who had everything under control, a true leader. But the reality was far more complex. Before his death on November 26, 2011, Gary Speed appeared on the BBC's Football Focus. He spoke enthusiastically about football, his plans for the Welsh national team, and his excitement for the future. To the public eye, he seemed happy. Hours later, he attended a dinner party with friends, including fellow footballer Alan Shearer. Again, there were no obvious signs of distress. But by the morning of November 27th, the football world was hit with devastating news. Gary Speed had been found dead at his home in Cheshire. The revelation sent shockwaves across football, with former teammates, coaches, and fans struggling to come to terms with his death. The idea that a man who had seemingly everything, a successful career, a loving family, and admiration from millions, could be battling such intense personal demons was heartbreaking. During the inquest into his death, it was revealed that Speed had sent Louise, his wife, a text message shortly before his passing. The message mentioned that he had been thinking about ending his life, but at the same time he expressed hope for the future. Louise later said, "We had exchanged texts. He had been out with his friend and was in great spirits. He talked about how important the boys were and that he was excited about the future." There was no indication that anything was wrong. Speed's death was officially ruled as suicide, though the inquest left some uncertainty, as he had not left a formal note. However, in 2018, 7 years after Speed's passing, his widow Louise Speed revealed a deeply personal and haunting discovery, a letter written by Gary when he was just 17 years old. The contents of the letter provided a chilling insight into the struggles he had been dealing with since his teenage years. In the letter, Speed wrote, "I'm so depressed. I'm just going to sleep now and hope I never wake up." Louise, who met Gary when she was 13 years old, was left stunned by the revelation. She recalled, "That was a light bulb moment for me in many ways. It answers an awful lot about why he did what he did. It's not something a normal 17-year-old would write." She further speculated, maybe the mental illness or depression was always there from an early age and it's been ruminating all his life. The discovery of the letter raised many painful questions. Had Speed been silently suffering from depression his entire life? Had his mental health struggles gone unnoticed because of his outward composure? What could have been done to help him? These questions, though unanswerable, shine a light on the unseen struggles that many high-profile athletes face. Mystified about why he had taken his own life, unsurprisingly Louise became extremely depressed in the aftermath of Gary's suicide in 2011, to the point where she could not get out of bed. She says, "I did start to drink an awful lot. I didn't need a drink as soon as I woke up, but I did drink virtually every evening for the first 2 years. It was always wine, and I felt it helped numb the pain I was suffering. For a few hours, it helped make me forget the terrible event. I was at the lowest point I could possibly reach. I couldn't function, but I could never have done what Gary did. I could never have given up on my 2 sons, which makes me think Gary must have been so ill to do what he did. I really didn't feel right putting on a dress and going out. I was the wife of Gary Speed who had hung himself. How could you act normally? People, though, generally were very good. I just wanted to talk about anything but Gary." Louise said she kept expecting Gary to walk in and make everything normal again. If the phone went or she received a text message, she thought it was him. It was the 2nd year after his death that she found the toughest. What kept her going was focusing on her boys, Ed, now 27, and Tommy, now 26. She says, "Hearing them laugh again, having their friends around, helped so much. I'm very proud of them and how they have coped with everything. Their take on life is to take every opportunity you have and go for it. We talk about their dad and the things we did together, the great times we had. We don't talk about why." Both Ed and Tommy inherited their dad's instinctive love of football. Ed was capped by Wales schools, and Tommy represented the Independent Schools FA at under 16 and under 18 level. Tommy was also a decent boxer and became a junior English champion. Both moved to America when Neil Roberts, a former Wales international and good friend of their dad, asked them over there to study and play football. Louise says it was not hard seeing them move 3,000 miles away from home because she wanted them to assume some normality. When they return to Cheshire on holiday, she always feels there's a part of Gary back in their house. She says, "I wish he was here now to see how well they've done. He would be very proud of them." You can't stay trapped in the barbed wire. You have to box it away to move forward, although you never truly do. It's always there. A big scar inside you that will never disappear. It's tough. We had a lovely life. Moving on, a decade after the death of Gary Speed, at age 50, Louise Speed found love again in 51-year-old Quinton Bird. The couple, having been business partners for 6 years, were both directors of a successful build and renovation company, Bow Property Development in Chester. Louise would later tie the knot with Quinton Bird at Peckforton Castle in Cheshire just before Christmas 2021. Unfortunately, 6 months later, Gary Speed's widow was left bereaved for a second time after her new husband, Quinton Bird, died from a brain tumour. Louise Speed had to pick up the pieces the second time and move on. 2 years after the death of her second husband, Louise, now 53, found love again with a 41-year-old wealthy property developer. She and her new boyfriend, Andrew Dickens, have also gone into business together by opening a property development firm. Meanwhile, despite having the perfect life, Gary Speed's 2 sons still speculate about what was going on that led to their father taking his own life. Speaking to BBC host Dan Walker, Ed, the footballer's eldest son, said, "I was woken up by Mum screaming for me. I ran downstairs and she was struggling to breathe and talk. She was just in shock. She told me not to look in the garage, but it still haunts me what I saw. Dad suffering like that." Ed was just 14 at the time. and had the task of breaking the tragic news to his little brother. He knew that he had to be there for his mum as they spoke to emergency service operators on the phone. Tommy said that the family hugged on his bed after they found out what happened, knowing that they had to stick together and be strong for one another. Gary Speed's death prompted a long overdue discussion about mental health in football. Many athletes, coaches, and experts began opening up about the pressures of professional sports and their impact on mental well-being. Former England striker Stan Collymore shared his experiences with depression and how the pressures of football nearly drove him to suicide. Ex-players like Clark Carlisle and Paul Merson also spoke out about their own struggles. The Premier League and Football Association have since taken significant steps toward providing better mental health support for players. For Louise and her two sons, Tom and Ed, life has never been the same. But Louise has channeled her grief into raising awareness, urging those struggling with mental health issues to seek help. Gary Speed was more than just a footballer. He was an icon, a leader, and an inspiration. But his story is also a sobering reminder that mental illness does not discriminate. Even those who appear to have everything can be fighting a battle that no one else can see. His secret letter, written at just 17, is a haunting clue that his struggles may have started long before anyone realized. Had mental health support been more openly discussed in football during his time, could things have been different? Though he is no longer with us, his legacy lives on, both in the world of football and in the ongoing fight to support mental well-being in sports. Rest in peace, Gary Speed. You will never be forgotten. Please, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing and turn on the notification bell to get informed on my future stories. Thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.